Well, hello, folks. We're back into Club Portugal. Bom dia. And, it's like the Club Med, man. When the weather gets like this, it's just, it's a vacation here. It's just so nice to go out and ride my bicycle again after having all that rain. So there you go. I'm happy. It's easy to get blissed out. I'm usually blissed out. People hate me for that. I understand. Need some Schadenfreude. But, it's like, I remember when I was in Tokyo, I knew this guy who worked for Goldman Sachs. He was young. He had everything. Really swank apartment in Roppongi, entertainment district in the business district and close to Azabu, the kind of where all the diplomats live. Anyway, pretty nice. And but he was so wound up. He was wound tight as a piano wire on a Colombian necktie. Just, but a hyper competitive American dude. And it was fun, but he didn't like me much sometimes because I was too easygoing and sunny, and he just didn't think I was a tough guy. So, everybody's envious of people for different reasons. But anyhow, it's nice to be easily blissed out just because there's some sun and it's beautiful and everybody's mowing their grass and cutting down weeds with weed cutters, just doing all that springtime stuff. And we're coming on April, Easter holiday, and so I hear somebody building a modern style place. It's been a while. When I came by here last time, they just put in the foundation. These concrete brick modern style homes go up pretty quick. The longest, seems like it takes a long time to get the foundation done, and then once that's all sorted, it goes up pretty quick. So that's nice. Somebody's got a nice view. Yeah, it's a good thing to be out and about again. So there's this place up the hill where we play pétanque sometimes, and I'm really excited to play pétanque again. When it gets a little bit drier, before it gets too hot. There's a couple places we play pétanque. The market in Caldas de Rainha, not the one in town, but the one that they have on Mondays. They've got a good piste, nice level ground, and nobody goes there, so you can bring a couple of chairs. And, oh, hi bird. Oh man, that bird broke its wing. A little yellow and green bird. Too bad. I see a lot of roadkill when I'm riding. But, yeah, so that's a good piece. Or, what do you call it? Anyway, gosh, My brain. And then there's another one with a really nice view in Santa Catarina that we like. That's really nice, and you can have a barbecue there. It's sweet. So it's time to invite the friends to play pétanque, do some barbecue, have a glass of vino, cope de vino. Yeah, I don't know what's going on in the States. A lot of my friends in Colorado that I grew up with, I have a few Irish friends here, but my friends in Colorado, they're kind of, you know, they're not spring chickens, they're in their 60s, but they're wanting to move out of the States, which is tough as you get older and older because you're leaving behind networks and you have to rebuild new networks wherever you go, even if you have money, right? You need people. And they're moving to Italy, to Spain, to Slovenia, all kinds of places. Because they're worried about the, I guess, instability it feels like, or volatility of the world and the States in particular. It's been a long time, you know, this craziness in the States. So I understand why they might want to relocate. But when you do that, you have to know what you're going to be up against. It's a nice willow tree up there. Yeah, so friends coming across. Another friend of mine just moved to Porto. Nice city. So I usually advise people to travel and visit a few times and look around so you find something you like and get to know their culture a bit. See if you can tackle the language. And once you've decided, then you just have to follow the steps required to do it. So you go to the government website, see what's up, go to a solicitor or whatever. It's not hard. I've lived in 7 countries. I consider living in a country a year or more where you have a proper visa and you're working and, you know, have a life, apartment, stuff like that. A year or more is enough. But I spent most of my time in Japan and mainland China and Hong Kong, you know, a stint in Taipei. But I spent a lot of time in Ireland and the States, so I count those two. And it's not that hard to go to another place, but I do worry that there will come a time when it is hard, just because of the pressures on the global economy for many reasons that I don't want to bum you out now. But you never know. If you really want to do it, you should do it. I started in the 80s. So back then everything was so free. And I had my US passport. So, you know, it was amazing how nice people were to me. Well, I went to the Soviet Union, I went to Russia, but, you know, in China, other parts of the world, where you think they might not like Americans that much, but they do. They love us. And it's, you know, it's just, well, I don't want to say that I don't deserve it. who deserves anything? I'm just lucky, I guess. That's a nice view, isn't it? So, but I started visiting the Iberian Peninsula, Spain, Portugal, southern France, a long time ago, and I loved it, so I kept coming back. So after you see things again and again, like you go to Bali in the 70s, you go to Bali in the late 80s, you go to Bali in the 90s, and you have these memories of what it was like in Tokyo in the 80s versus now, and it changes. And also a person I know of here has a little YouTube channel about Portugal, and he was mentioning something about Americanization, but not blatantly. He was just saying something about how you notice that around the world. I noticed it in London. He's a British guy. When you go to King's Road one decade, and the next decade you go back and there's Starbucks. You know, like King's Road used to be owner operated. Look at this, they're doing some work here, man. That's the piste where we play pétanque, or whatever, the ground. The piste is the thing you throw on the ground. What am I talking about? They're making something here. There's the little clubhouse. So I tell you, I get that, because, you know, the Ireland I lived in as a child is not at all like that anymore. For obvious reasons, things change, for God's sake. I'm in my late 60s. But Americanization, yeah, it has its perks, but it kind of bums me out too, a lot. Only because I'm nostalgic. I have these memories of the way things were, and they were so cool when I was young. Of course they were, I was young. So, but you know, Thailand back in the day, in the 70s, 80s, 90s, man, I don't know, man. But anyway, you don't want to be a slave to nostalgia. You don't want to have to compare everything to your happy-go-lucky youth. Man, I'm telling you, back in my day, they had Joni Mitchell. Whatever. There's so much good music. The thing I do love about the world today is, like, I can listen to Mongolian pop music and stuff like that. It's so freaking good. The world's beautiful. You know, if war is the revolving door for careerist politicians in the United States and new miracles, then music is just a joy-producing thing that's universal to all people in all cultures. It really crosses the divides. You know, it's hard not to love good music and what it makes people feel, whether you're in India or, you know, Africa or Jordan, wherever you are. I spent over a year in Mumbai. And, you know, you realize these are people, you know, big city people. It's all familiar, you know. And your bigotry and your chauvinism and that kind of thing just kind of evaporates if you've been traveling long enough. One thing that confuses me here is when people move to such a beautiful country and then they have so many complaints about it because it's not like home. Well, it's not like home because it's not home, wherever you think that is. Whenever I went back to San Francisco in the old days, my friends would say, "Oh, Stephen, you're back in town. Where are you hanging your hat these days?" I think that's a nice expression. Where are you hanging your hat, you know? So, wherever he laid his hat was his home. And when he died, all he left us was alone. Great song. I think I'll stop here for a bit. So, yeah, wherever you lay your hat is your home. You make it your home by connecting with the community and learning about it. It's so exciting. Don't you think novelty is freaking fun? Keeps you young. Some new things. I'm always out and about looking for new views. Now that sign there means I can't ride my bicycle down there. No tractors, no trucks, no cars. Is that motorcycle or bicycle? Anyway, try to obey the rules. Another example. Do we blame American culture on that? U.S. American? Or what? Or did that, is that something else? I don't know. Where was tagging walls popularized? You see this a lot all over the world. And I think maybe MTV and stuff like that had something to do with it. It is interesting that in some countries you just don't see it. Singapore, Moscow, whatever, some cities. This is kind of an interesting little picnic spot. There's a little spring here. I was going to shoot a little video. I had my Osmo Pocket, but when I took it off the bag that it's in to put on my Osmo Action, I forgot to pick up my Osmo Pocket again. So there you have it. I'll just use this. Man, I think the wind had something to do with that. I don't know if that's recent. Looks kind of recent. We had a lot of wind. Nazare was cooking, but a little too stormy to really enjoy it as a viewer.
Mid-1950s through to the early 1970s, colleges and universities were at the center of American life. Even as many campuses were racked by turmoil, they were also experiencing what has come to be seen as a golden age, at least for white men. Faculty positions were considered prestigious, and the academic community as a whole, faculty, students, both graduate and undergraduate, researchers, administrators, and intellectual hangers-on, seemed to be engaged in an exciting collective endeavor to improve their institutions and perhaps even make the world a better place. Rockport's ambitious leaders, as they struggled to accommodate their school's exploding student body and growing faculty. Founded in 1835 by a group of Baptists as the Brockport Collegiate Institute to offer what amounted to a high school education with some teacher training on the side, it became the Brockport State Normal School in 1867, and then, in the early 1940s, the Brockport State Teachers College, with a campus consisting of one building, a few hundred students, and less than 50 professors and administrators. After joining the State University of New York, SUNY.
So you hear a lot of chainsaws. So this is the damage from our storms, which in my experience over the years, decades of visiting around here, I've never had. I mean, it's new to me. But when I see, sometimes I look at the news in the States or other places, obviously the States, and all of the tornadoes and fires and floods and wind and all that stuff. My God, what a mess. I don't know why the Midwest in the States, well, from Texas all the way to Maine, is so intensely hit. But all of this, like these trees falling over and so on, happened in the last month. There were a few big storms here in Portugal. And, well, you can see in this park, the tree falls over, hits the table there, and there you have it. So all the people come out immediately and they start cutting these trees up, right? So I have fireplaces and cuisine and all that kind of thing. And, you know, I'll get my wood next year once it's dried a bit. But, you know, look at this. This is amazing. I mean, this whole park here, all the woods, you just see trees that have fallen over. Look at this beautiful pine. It's lovely. But look at that tree over there, if you can see it with this wide angle lens. It fell over. Look at all these trees. They're all fallen over. And I hate to say it, I'm such a bummer. I'm no fun at all. I should be talking about the stock market and how great life is and all of my past triumphs and telling you war stories about how cool I am. But, man, this is the new normal. According to what I know and have learned about how the climate works in our current predicament, I'm not a doomsayer. I'm not depressed about it. This is just life. This is the price for my wonderful 68 years of life. I'm not at fault. Neither are you. We had a good run. It's not going to end tomorrow. It's not going to end maybe this century or anything. Maybe it never ends. I don't know. I can't predict the future, but I'm telling you, the weather, it's different now. It's different. You know, before it was like, oh, those are abstract numbers and whatever. But once the weather hits all the time, year after year, and, you know, you notice it, then it becomes different. It's like, why? I think some people in the States will just chalk it up to Satan or God or something. Has nothing to do with our, you know, socioeconomic system and beliefs and so on. Why would you say no to oil? I saw Giant, that movie classic, back in the day. And, you know, or There Will Be Blood. You know, if I found oil, I'd be happy as hell. I'm gonna be rich. But these stories in the States, like Yellowstone, where they're like, gotta protect the ranch, this is where we dump the bodies. I mean, come on, give me a break. That's disgusting. And it's not true. I mean, life was brutal always, but, you know, it's like, this is what we want to see, a story about a guy who's going to protect the ranch even if he has to murder people and brand people. It's so weird. But I liked it. I loved the actors, and there were poignant scenes where, you know, I thought were pretty cool. My wife hates it. You know, it's like, that's a stupid show. There's nothing sympathetic about it. It's not interesting. There's no message, you know, stuff like that. I agree with her from her point of view. It's ridiculous. But for me, it was interesting. But look, I mean, this is it, my friends. Well, whatever. We had a windstorm. So what? Shit happens. But the fact is, when you read about it, you have these 1,000-year storms, so-called, quote-unquote, whatever, 100-year, 1,000-year, 50-year. And now they're common. It's like every year. Every year storms, every year tornadoes, every year hurricanes, every year typhoons. And we can't stop it. I mean, that's done and dusted. So we just have to get used to it, get on with our lives, and live with it, and all that kind of thing. There are things we can do better, but we can't save the climate. Just like the planet, you know, people talk about the planet. It's not the planet we're worried about. It's our way of life. We don't care about plants and animals and the soil and all that, all this metaphysical stuff about whatever, what the gods want. But we do care about, you know, making a living and having a nice life and taking care of our families and making sure they're okay, and they have a future. That's called posterity, by the way. Caring about posterity. After I'm dead, what's your legacy? But anyhow, this is what we've got going. I'm not scared. I'm not depressed. I'm not angry. It is what it is. But man, up till 2019, things were so sweet here. Predictable, stable. It's like, well, it's just good. You know, you post on Facebook and Instagram, you're having a bottle of wine in Obi-Douche or wherever, Guimarães, and your friends are going, dude, you're having a good life. Yeah, man. Gas was so cheap. I get a big bottle of gas in the old days, 39 bucks, 39 euros. Now it's 139. Thank you, Vladimir Putin. Thank you, Uncle Sam, you fucking players. Goddamn fucking players. They gotta do their thing. Well, we don't stop them, so what do we expect? We don't care. It's boring. It's not fun. I should do that too, collect pine cones. It's ridiculous not to collect pine cones. They're great fire starters. Pine cones are awesome. I should be out collecting pine cones. I'm a shirker. Whew. I dressed too much for, I guess it's 18 or 19 degrees now already. I have a fleece jacket on and I'm getting a bit hot. Sorry for the sniffing. Well, this is what it looks like to ride a bicycle through Portugal. And yeah, people are doing their maintenance stuff. Hi, bom dia. And still beautiful, still wonderful. Like I said before, it's amazing the kind of, you know, destruction, or let's be nice, inconvenience of the storms that are going on in the United States. Sorry. It's amazing, actually. And it makes my situation look like Club Med, like I said before. So, and I'm not the kind of person who says, you know, come follow me, live in Club Med, live like me because I'm cool and my choices are all that good and whatever. When I was a kid, I used to tell people, get your passport, we're going to Peru. And they were like, I can get a passport? And then later, in my 30s, 40s, one of my friends said, I'm not going to get on a plane just to see you somewhere, asshole. You know, so things change. But I wouldn't normally just say, like, you know, this is all good or that's all good or whatever. You make the best of where you are. And, you know, I've been to Virginia and Vermont and Pennsylvania. And of course, I lived in California and whatnot. It's all good. Beautiful. Lots of nice people. So I just think that, like, our weather situation, quote unquote weather, it is weather, definitively, but does it have any correlation to climate change, anthropogenic climate change? I don't know. I think it does, but whatever. Our situation here in Ladia, the Silver Coast, is pretty damn nice. I mean, if this is the damage that you get in Ladia, I'm like, oh my God, we are so lucky, so fortunate. But that isn't to say that I'm asking all of my American brothers and sisters to move here. I think people should go where they want to go, if they can. And older people like me, I mean, if it's your dream to come to another country, and I think you should do it. But reality here, in terms of the culture, the people of Portugal, and what their concerns are and their reality is, it's different. It's a different culture, and so we shouldn't just take it for granted that I'm just going to another beautiful place in the world that's, because I can't. A long time ago I was in Greece, and I was a kid, maybe 22, in a Morgos island in Greece. These German ladies said, "Sonny boy, why are you going to, was going to India?" And I said, "Because I can." And I thought that was really cool. "Why do you climb a mountain?" "Because I can." And they just ripped me a new one, telling me how arrogant I was. Of course, this is coming from German ladies back then. It's complicated. I won't go there. But I learned something from that experience, from that conversation. And I learned that the thinking that in my young little mind I took for granted as something clever was nothing. I mean, you read Dostoevsky or Tolstoy or whatever, who likes Camus and Milan Kundera? Are you kidding me? But you read them 20 years later, and you learn different things from them, from the story, because you're simply too immature to understand the story when you're 22. A Tale of Two Cities. My God, what a great book. But when you're in middle school, this is American English, and they're saying, "Read a tale." I mean, really? Are you mature enough to get it? And I read Faulkner and Hemingway, and what do I know about the Spanish Revolution? So we're old man in paradise riding his bicycle around, still thinking about shit, still rereading books that I read in middle school. It's fun to talk to people you love and discuss the Hardy Boys, Nancy Drew mysteries, Agatha Christie. I'm telling you, I'm so thankful I have my books. I don't think people are going to be thankful for this video, but man, I just love those stories. So sometimes I ride around, I'm listening to a book on, audio book, as if the view and everything isn't good enough. No, I just like it. It's some time that I have to listen to a book. And I have time sometimes to not listen to a book. Like Marcus Aurelius, get up in the morning, watch the sunrise. I do that a lot. And that's quiet, that's private. Listen to the birds in the morning, the chickens, the roosters. The stars are so beautiful here where I live. And it's quiet, you're walking around, nobody's out there. And it's so beautiful. And of course, the sun is still doing what the sun does. And our solar system is still doing what it does. And then you go back home and you see that all the bullshit is still doing what it does. Yeah, okay. We gotta do this, that, and the other thing. We gotta bomb Yemen. Yeah, man, we gotta bomb Yemen. And of course, the West is good at bombing because they have the equipment. But you look at the guys, Ukrainians and Russians fighting, and you realize those people are really in harm's way. They're doing the hard work. Dodging drones. Let's go shoot each other and shoot artillery shells at each other, kinetic missiles and whatever. It grind away. And I know beyond the shadow of a doubt that the United States of new miracles could fucking end it in a heartbeat if we had that kind of leadership, but we don't. Y'all want to believe the good and evil. It's fucking tragic. And are you gonna go out there and fight? Hell no. You're gonna go hang out down the pub and talk about how fucking amazing your little life was. And it was amazing, as was mine. But whatever.